chosen ones. The two of you will be the most powerful couple on earth. This moment is not ordinary, because it carries the whisper of God's love, and it is meant to remind you that you are not alone, not forgotten, and not lost in any way. There is a purpose forming around your life that is bigger than your fears and stronger than your doubts. Type 1010 if you agree. The story that is beginning to unfold is not about perfection, but about grace, healing, and a connection that God Himself is shaping with care and patience. There is a quiet place in the heart where God speaks in a voice that feels like warmth, and in that place He is bringing two lives together for something meaningful and powerful. These two souls did not come together by chance, because every step they have taken, even through confusion and pain, has been gently guided by a loving hand that never stopped watching over them. Their paths crossed at the right time, not too early and not too late, because God understands the seasons of growth and the moments when hearts are ready to receive something true and lasting. The bond between them is not built on outward strength alone, because real strength begins in the soul, where faith is formed and trust is slowly built through quiet endurance. They have both known moments when life felt heavy, and there were days when hope seemed distant, yet something inside them refused to break completely. That quiet strength was not their own doing, because it was the presence of God holding them together when everything else felt uncertain. In those hidden moments, God was preparing them, shaping their hearts so they could carry a love that is patient, gentle, and deeply rooted in truth. Please leave this video and subscribe to this channel if you love God. There is a beauty in how God brings two people together who have been through different journeys, yet share the same quiet longing for something real and lasting. Their connection begins to grow in ways they cannot fully explain, because it feels peaceful rather than rushed, and steady rather than uncertain. This kind of connection is not loud or dramatic, because it carries a calm assurance that feels like rest after a long journey. It is the kind of love that does not demand perfection, but instead offers understanding, forgiveness, and kindness, even in moments of weakness. God is building something powerful through them, not in the way the world measures power, but in a way that touches lives and brings light into dark places. Their unity becomes a source of strength, not only for themselves, but also for others who witness the peace they carry. When they stand together, they reflect something greater than themselves, because their love becomes a quiet example of what it means to trust God fully and walk in faith, even when the future is unclear. There is a gentle promise forming in their lives, and it speaks of a future filled with purpose, healing, and shared strength. This promise is not rushed, because God's timing is always perfect, and He never builds something meaningful in haste. He takes time to prepare hearts, to remove fear, and to replace doubt with quiet confidence that grows stronger each day. In this process, they learn to lean on God first, and through that trust, they learn to support each other with patience and grace. Their journey will not be without challenges, because every strong bond is tested in ways that reveal its true foundation. Yet these challenges are not meant to break them, but to strengthen their faith and deepen their connection. Each moment of struggle becomes an opportunity to choose love over fear and trust over uncertainty. Through these choices, they begin to understand that real power is not found in control, but in surrendering to God's will and allowing His love to guide every step. There is something beautiful about two people who choose to grow together rather than apart, because growth requires humility, understanding, and a willingness to change. God is working within them, gently shaping their hearts so they can reflect His love more clearly in the way they treat each other and those around them. Their words become softer, their actions more thoughtful, and their presence more comforting, because they are learning to love in a way that brings peace instead of pain. As their bond continues to deepen, they begin to see that their connection is part of something greater than their own desires. It becomes a calling, a purpose that invites them to stand strong together and carry a light that can reach others who feel lost or broken. Their love becomes a testimony of healing, showing that even wounded hearts can be restored when placed in God's hands. This is where their true strength begins to shine, not as individuals, but as a united presence, grounded in faith and guided by love. In the quiet moments, when the world feels distant and distractions fade away, they feel a deep sense of peace that confirms they are exactly where they are meant to be. This peace is not something they created, because it comes from God, and it surrounds them like a gentle embrace that brings comfort and reassurance. It reminds them that they are chosen, not because they are perfect, but because they are willing to trust, to grow, and to love with open hearts. Most people ignored this strange 7-second exercise when they first heard about it. That changed when stories began surfacing from people who had paid off debt, upgraded their lifestyles, purchased new homes, and experienced unexpected financial improvements. A recently surfaced CIA document points to an unusual brainwave process that is rapidly gaining attention online. Reports claim that 4 separate neuroscience research teams examined the method and found evidence that it may help shift mental patterns connected to wealth, opportunity, and personal success. Those who once struggled financially now say money seems to appear in ways they never anticipated. As interest grows, information about this method is becoming increasingly difficult to find. Click the link in the description and comments below to learn what everyone is talking about. They start to notice small changes within themselves that feel soft but powerful, as if something inside is being renewed. With every moment, they choose kindness over pride and understanding over judgment. Their conversations become more meaningful, not because they are perfect, but because they begin to listen with care and respond with gentleness that reflects a deeper sense of love. This kind of growth does not happen suddenly, because God shapes hearts slowly, allowing each lesson to take root in a way that lasts. There were times in their past when love felt uncertain or even painful, and those memories did not disappear overnight, yet something new begins to replace those old wounds with peace that feels steady and real. God does not ignore their past, but instead uses it to teach them how to love differently, with more patience and more compassion than before. In this process, they learn that true love is not about avoiding pain, but about walking through it together while holding on to faith. As they continue to walk side by side, they begin to understand that their connection is not only meant for their own happiness, but also to bring light into the lives of others who may feel lost or alone. Their presence together starts to carry a quiet strength that others can feel, even without words being spoken. This strength comes from the way they trust God, even when they do not fully understand what lies ahead, and from the way they choose to remain united in moments that could easily divide them. There is a gentle transformation happening within them, and it shows in the way they respond to challenges with calmness instead of fear, and with faith instead of doubt. They begin to realize that their unity is not based on circumstances, but on something much deeper that cannot be shaken by temporary struggles. This realization brings a sense of stability that feels like standing on solid ground after a long time of uncertainty. Their love begins to reflect the nature of Christ in a quiet and beautiful way, showing forgiveness when mistakes are made and offering grace when weaknesses are revealed. They no longer feel the need to hide their imperfections, because they understand that God is not looking for perfection, but for hearts that are willing to grow and trust in His guidance. In this safe space they have found in each other, healing continues to unfold gently and consistently. There are moments when they look at each other and feel a deep sense of gratitude that cannot be easily explained, because it goes beyond what they expected or imagined. It is the kind of gratitude that comes from knowing that this connection is a gift, not something earned or forced, but something given with intention and care. God has placed them together for a reason, and that reason continues to reveal itself in small, meaningful ways each day. Type 1111 to receive miracles. This simple act of faith becomes a reminder that what they are building is supported by something far greater than their own efforts, and that miracles often begin quietly in the heart before they are seen in the world. As time moves forward, they begin to see how their individual strengths complement each other in ways that feel natural and balanced. Where one feels uncertain, the other brings reassurance, and where one feels weak, the other offers strength that lifts them up. This harmony is not accidental, because God understands what each of them needs, and He brings those needs together in a way that creates unity rather than conflict. They also learn that being strong together does not mean they will never struggle, because challenges still come and moments of doubt still appear. Yet, even in those times, they find themselves returning to a place of trust, where they remember that they are not facing anything alone. God stands with them, guiding their steps and giving them the strength to keep moving forward without losing hope. There is a quiet confidence growing within them, and it does not come from knowing everything will be easy, but from believing that whatever comes, they will be guided through it with love and wisdom. This confidence allows them to face the future without fear, because they are no longer relying only on their own understanding, but on a higher purpose that continues to lead them gently. Their journey together becomes a reflection of something sacred, where love is not just felt but lived out through daily choices that bring peace and unity. In this way, their connection becomes more than just a relationship, because it turns into a testimony of God's grace working in real and visible ways. Others begin to notice the calmness they carry and the kindness they show, and it becomes clear that something divine is shaping their path. There is a unique beauty in how their presence begins to bring comfort to those who feel uncertain or lost, because they do not try to appear perfect or unreachable. Instead, they show a kind of love that feels real, gentle, and understanding, allowing others to feel seen and valued without fear of judgment. This ability to uplift others does not come from their own strength alone, because it is God working through them, shaping their hearts so they can reflect His love in a way that feels genuine and deeply human. As they grow closer in spirit and purpose, they begin to understand that their connection carries a responsibility that goes beyond their personal happiness. God is inviting them to be a light in places where darkness has lingered, and to bring hope into situations where people have forgotten what hope feels like. This calling does not feel heavy or overwhelming, because it is filled with peace that reassures them they are not walking this path alone. They feel guided, supported, and strengthened in ways that remind them of God's constant presence in their lives. What if the ability to attract greater wealth has been inside your mind all along? Newly revealed CIA-related research describes a brief 7-second routine believed to activate a little-known mental state associated with abundance and achievement. According to reports, the technique was reviewed by multiple neuroscience laboratories and is now being used daily by thousands of people looking to escape financial pressure and create a life filled with freedom, travel, and opportunity. Due to growing attention, access to this information may not remain available for long. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. There are moments when they quietly reflect on how far they have come, remembering the struggles that once felt impossible to overcome and the doubts that once clouded their vision. In those reflections, they begin to see a clear pattern of God's hand guiding them, even in times when they could not recognize it. This awareness deepens their faith and strengthens their commitment to continue trusting, even when they do not have all the answers. Their love becomes more than an emotion, because it turns into a daily choice to care, to listen, and to support each other in ways that bring growth and understanding. They begin to see that true power is not found in control or dominance, but in the ability to remain gentle, patient, and kind, even when circumstances are difficult. This realization transforms the way they approach challenges, allowing them to face each situation with calmness and clarity rather than fear and confusion. In the quiet rhythm of their days, they develop a deeper connection with God that strengthens the bond they share with each other. They take moments to pause, to reflect, and to realign their hearts with the truth that their journey is guided by something greater than their own desires. These moments of stillness become a source of renewal, filling them with peace that carries them through even the busiest and most challenging times. Type 2020 if you trust in God. This act of trust becomes a small but meaningful step in aligning the heart with the same faith that continues to guide them forward. There is a growing sense of purpose within their connection, and it begins to shape the way they see the world around them. They become more aware of the needs of others, more sensitive to the pain that people carry silently, and more willing to offer kindness without expecting anything in return. This awareness does not feel like a burden, because it is accompanied by a deep sense of compassion that flows naturally from the love they share. As they continue to walk together, they learn to support each other in ways that bring out the best in both of them. They encourage growth, celebrate progress, and remain patient during moments of struggle, understanding that every step forward is part of a larger journey. This mutual support strengthens their bond and allows them to face life with a sense of unity that cannot be easily broken. There are times when the world around them may seem uncertain or overwhelming, yet they find themselves anchored in a peace that remains steady regardless of external circumstances. This peace is not dependent on what is happening around them, because it comes from within, rooted in their trust in God and their commitment to walk in faith together. It becomes a quiet assurance that no matter what challenges arise, they will not lose their direction or their sense of purpose. Their connection begins to shine as a reflection of something divine, showing others that love grounded in faith can bring healing, strength, and hope in ways that go beyond human understanding. People who encounter them begin to feel inspired, not because of anything they claim, but because of the way they live and the peace they carry. This quiet influence becomes a powerful testimony of God's work, reaching hearts in ways that words alone could never achieve. With each passing day, they continue to grow, not only in their love for each other, but also in their understanding of the purpose they are meant to fulfill together. Their journey is still unfolding, and there is a sense of anticipation for what lies ahead, balanced with a deep trust that whatever comes will be guided by God's wisdom and care. In this trust, they find the courage to keep moving forward, knowing that their story is part of something much greater than they can see. There are days when emotions feel heavy and misunderstandings try to create distance between them, yet even in those moments, something stronger continues to hold them together. They begin to realize that love is not proven in easy times, but in the willingness to remain kind, patient, and understanding when everything feels uncertain. Instead of allowing small conflicts to grow into walls, they learn to approach each situation with humility, choosing to listen before reacting and to forgive before resentment has a chance to take root. This process is not always comfortable, because growth rarely feels easy, but it carries a quiet beauty that becomes visible over time. With every challenge they overcome together, their bond becomes stronger and more resilient, like a foundation that is being reinforced with every test it passes. God is not distant during these moments because He is present in every step, guiding their thoughts, softening their hearts, and reminding them that they are never alone in what they are facing. There is a powerful shift that begins to take place within them as they learn to rely more on faith than on their own understanding. They start to see that not every situation needs to be controlled or fully understood, because true peace comes from trusting that God is already working behind the scenes. This trust allows them to release fear and embrace a sense of calm that remains steady even when circumstances are uncertain. In the midst of these trials, their connection becomes a place of refuge rather than conflict, because they choose to support each other instead of pulling away. They learn how to comfort one another with words that heal rather than harm, and how to offer presence instead of distance when things feel difficult. This kind of love does not happen by accident, because it is the result of intentional choices made every single day, guided by the desire to grow together rather than apart. Type 1212 to claim miracles. This act of faith becomes a reminder that even in the hardest moments, something beautiful is being formed, and miracles often begin in places where hope feels fragile. A little-known discovery hidden within leaked CIA research is generating worldwide attention. The technique takes only 7 seconds and is believed to place the brain into a powerful state linked to financial growth and success. Researchers from 4 neuroscience facilities reportedly observed unusual effects connected to this process. Since then, people have shared stories of unexpected income, dream vacations, luxury purchases, and opportunities they never thought possible. Awareness of this method remains limited, and the page revealing it could vanish without warning. Click the link in the description and comments below to see why interest is spreading so quickly. As they continue through this season, they begin to notice that the struggles they once feared are now shaping them into stronger and more compassionate individuals. They become more patient with each other, more understanding of each other's weaknesses, and more willing to offer grace when mistakes are made. This transformation does not remove all difficulties, but it changes the way they respond to them, allowing love to remain at the center of everything they face. There is a deep sense of unity that grows within them, and it becomes clear that their connection is not easily shaken by temporary challenges. They begin to understand that their strength does not come from avoiding hardship, but from facing it together with faith and trust in God's guidance. This understanding brings a quiet confidence that continues to grow with each passing day, giving them the courage to keep moving forward without fear. Their journey becomes a testimony of resilience, showing that love rooted in faith can withstand even the most difficult seasons. Others who observe them begin to see that their bond is not ordinary, because it carries a depth that goes beyond surface-level connection. This depth is the result of their willingness to remain committed to each other, even when circumstances are not ideal, and to continue choosing love in every situation. There are moments of quiet reflection where they recognize how much they have grown, not only as individuals, but as a united pair walking in purpose. They see how God has taken their weaknesses and turned them into strengths, and how He has used every challenge to bring them closer rather than push them apart. This awareness fills them with gratitude and strengthens their desire to continue trusting in His plan. As this season begins to pass, they emerge with a stronger foundation that cannot be easily shaken. Their love feels more stable, their faith more certain, and their connection more meaningful than ever before. They no longer fear the unknown, because they have learned that whatever lies ahead, they will face it together with the guidance of God and the strength of their unity. They begin to notice that small things start aligning in ways that feel meaningful, as if every step forward is being gently arranged with care and intention. Opportunities begin to appear at the right time, conversations bring clarity instead of confusion, and their path feels less uncertain than before. These changes do not happen by chance, because God is bringing them into a season where their faith is being rewarded with signs of growth, stability, and quiet success that builds steadily over time. There is a deeper sense of joy that begins to grow within them, and it is not dependent on outward circumstances, because it comes from knowing they are walking in the direction that God has prepared for them. This joy is calm and steady, not loud or overwhelming, and it brings a sense of contentment that allows them to appreciate each moment without fear of losing it. They begin to understand that true blessings are not always dramatic, but often appear in quiet ways that bring lasting peace and fulfillment. As they continue forward, they start to see how their unity is creating a strong foundation for everything that is coming into their lives. Their decisions become clearer, their focus becomes stronger, and their ability to support each other grows in ways that feel natural and effortless. This strength does not come from striving alone, but from walking together with a shared sense of purpose that keeps them aligned even when new challenges arise. Type 2020 if you trust in God. This expression of trust mirrors the confidence they are learning to carry, knowing that what is unfolding is guided by a higher plan that continues to work in their favor. There is also a quiet elevation taking place within their lives, not in a way that creates pride, but in a way that increases their responsibility to remain humble and grounded in faith. They begin to receive recognition, respect, or opportunities that reflect the growth they have experienced. Yet they remain aware that everything they have is a gift from God. This awareness keeps their hearts centered, allowing them to move forward without losing the humility that has carried them this far. Their connection becomes even more meaningful as they begin to share in these blessings together, celebrating each step forward while continuing to support each other through every moment of growth. They do not compete or compare, because they understand that their strength lies in unity rather than individual achievement. This understanding allows them to build something lasting, something that is not easily shaken by changes or external pressures. There are moments when they pause and reflect on how much their lives have changed, and in those moments they feel a deep sense of gratitude that fills their hearts with warmth and peace. They remember the struggles they once faced and the doubts they once carried, and they see how far they have come with God's guidance. This reflection strengthens their faith and reminds them that every step of their journey has had a purpose. As blessings continue to unfold, they begin to see that their influence is also growing in ways that allow them to uplift others who are still searching for hope. Their story becomes a source of encouragement, showing that faith, patience, and love can lead to something beautiful and lasting. They do not seek attention or recognition for this, because their focus remains on living with sincerity and allowing God to work through them naturally. Their bond becomes a source of stability, not only for themselves, but for those who look to them for inspiration and reassurance. They carry a presence that feels calm and grounded, and it creates a sense of trust that draws others toward them. This presence is not something they try to create, because it flows naturally from the peace they carry within their hearts. Some are calling this one of the most remarkable wealth discoveries ever revealed. Newly uncovered CIA files describe a simple 7-second brainwave technique believed to help recondition the mind for prosperity and abundance. Supported by findings reportedly reviewed by 4 neuroscience research centers, this daily practice is attracting attention from people seeking financial breakthroughs. Many claim it helped them move from financial struggle to greater stability, freedom, and success. Information surrounding this technique is becoming harder to locate online. Click the link in the description and comments below before it is gone. With each new step, they begin to feel a stronger sense of direction, as if their path is becoming clearer and more purposeful. They no longer feel lost or uncertain about where they are going, because they trust that God is leading them exactly where they need to be. This trust allows them to move forward with confidence, knowing that every door that opens is part of a greater plan. Their journey continues to rise, not in a way that separates them from others, but in a way that allows them to bring others along through kindness, encouragement, and quiet strength. They remain grounded in their values, remembering that true power is not about status or recognition, but about the ability to remain loving, patient, and faithful in every situation. There is a sense of completion beginning to form within their connection, not as an ending, but as a foundation that is now strong enough to carry everything that is still to come. They begin to understand that being powerful together does not mean controlling outcomes or seeking recognition, but living in a way that reflects love, humility, and unwavering trust in God. Their strength is seen in the way they remain kind when it would be easier to be distant, and in the way they continue to support each other even when life demands more than they expected. Their unity now carries a quiet authority, one that does not need to be spoken loudly to be felt deeply by those around them. When they walk together, there is a sense of peace that follows them, as if their presence itself becomes a reminder that God's love is real and active in the lives of those who trust Him. This influence grows naturally, without effort, because it is not created by them, but by the work God is doing through them. There are moments when they look at each other and feel a deep knowing that what they share is rare and meaningful, something that cannot be easily replaced or recreated. This knowing brings a sense of security that allows them to move forward without fear, because they trust not only in each other, but in the purpose that has brought them together. It is this trust that continues to strengthen their bond, allowing them to face every new season with confidence and calmness. Type yes to affirm. This act of affirmation reflects the same quiet certainty that continues to grow within them, guiding their steps and strengthening their connection as they move forward together. As they continue to build their life side by side, they begin to see how their love has become a source of healing, not only for themselves, but for others who are drawn to the peace they carry. Their journey becomes a living example of what it means to trust God fully, showing that even through challenges and uncertainty, it is possible to create something beautiful and lasting. This example does not rely on perfection, because it is rooted in authenticity and a willingness to grow through every experience. Their connection also begins to open doors that allow them to step into new opportunities where their influence can reach even further. These opportunities are not overwhelming, because they come with a sense of readiness that shows how much they have grown and how prepared they are to handle what lies ahead. They move forward with humility, always remembering that their strength comes from God and that their purpose is to reflect His love in everything they do. There is a deep sense of gratitude that fills their hearts as they continue to walk this path together, because they recognize how much they have been given and how much they have overcome. They do not take their journey for granted, because they understand that every moment has been part of a greater plan designed to bring them into this place of strength and unity. This gratitude keeps them grounded, allowing them to continue growing without losing the values that have guided them from the beginning. As time moves forward, their bond remains steady, not because life becomes easier, but because they have learned how to remain anchored in faith, regardless of what they face. They know that challenges may still come, but they also know that they now carry the strength and wisdom to navigate those challenges together. This knowledge gives them a sense of peace that cannot be shaken, because it is rooted in experience and reinforced by their trust in God. Their story becomes a reflection of what is possible when two people choose to walk in faith and love with sincerity and commitment. It shows that real power is not about control or recognition, but about the ability to remain united, to grow through every season, and to reflect God's love in a way that brings light into the world. This understanding shapes the way they continue their journey, guiding them toward a future that is filled with purpose and meaning. In the quiet moments, they feel a deep connection not only with each other, but with God, whose presence has been constant throughout their journey. This connection becomes the foundation that supports everything they build together, allowing them to move forward with confidence and peace. They know that they are not walking alone, and this knowledge brings comfort that remains steady regardless of what lies ahead.